twice, three times the champion. Champions of Europe finally. History made in Istanbul. The treble complete. The greatest story in club history has an ending. And what a final chapter.
Hello and welcome back to another typical City watch-along. I was just admiring my own starting soon screen, the commentary at the end of that Inter Milan game as Manchester City win the Champions League. The reason we are here right now, because we've got this treble in the bag. Well, I mean, we could have come here without the treble, just the Champions League would have done. But yeah, we don't do things by half measures at Manchester City. Full treble, please. Thank you very much, but I'm really excited. This team news is fascinating. Really interesting team news. And I'll get onto that shortly. Just want to welcome everyone into the chat as well. Letty was in here nice and early. Appreciate that, Letty. Hope you're doing well, Hayden. James, Ian, Section 20, Gaming Facts. Eric, Issa, good to see you. Abdi, Vinny, Mark, Wapang, Jack, good to see you guys all in the chat already. I'm looking forward to this game. Manchester City versus Uwara Red Diamonds. I'm looking forward to it. Urawa. I'm going to be struggling to pronounce that throughout this whole evening. I'm going to say it in about 7 or 8 different ways. I thought for familiarity I could just say the Uwara Red Diamonds. Uwara. That's what I thought we could do. But Kyle Walker probably told Pep he will flash him if he gets benched. Yeah, do you know what? I feel like people have turned on Kyle Walker. I thought it was despicable what he did in the summer, but I think since then, I think people have had enough of him. It seems, I can't think of any other reason why everybody hates Kyle Walker all of a sudden. I think it's harsh, but do you know what I think's hilarious? He's in the team, starting 11 today. Just funny. I disagree with it. Personally, I would have preferred to have seen Rico Lewis. I think Rico Lewis is in much better form. But he's played him, and that's funny to me to see this new generation of toxic Manchester City fans who seem to insist that we have a scapegoat at all times. We must have a scapegoat. Someone needs to be blamed, and Kyle Walker's copping for it right now. He's the man who's getting the blame. I don't think he's been playing well by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's bang out of form, and I would like to see Rico Lewis given an opportunity in his beginning role. It's kind of how he started life in the first team of Manchester City in the right back role. It was actually the left back role, wasn't it? He came on, I think, against Bournemouth last season, first home game of the season. I remember it because I was with my lad, and it's the first time I ever took him to a game. And Rico Lewis came on, I'm pretty sure of that. And playing at left back. So I don't see, he's not got the pace of Kyle Walker. He's not got the physical attributes of Kyle Walker, the power, the strength. Aerial duels is something Kyle Walker's very underrated at. His aerial ability is fantastic. He can leap like a fish out of water. He's brilliant in the air, Kyle Walker. Really good. Rico Lewis hasn't got any of that, but he's got a bag full of creativity, an incredible amount of technicality that makes Kyle Walker look nothing the same. They are totally different types of players. And is that what Pep wants? Is that what you want as Manchester City fans who seemingly want to see the back of Kyle Walker? But I'll get onto the team anyway. You've probably seen it rolling on your screen already. But it's a really strong team. The second I looked at name number 1, I thought Ederson. Oh, he's gone strong. You know straight away when Ederson's in there, basically. Ederson in net, Walker, captain, Stones, Akanji, Aki. Rodri, I imagine, is going to be an isolated single pivot with Kovacic and Nunes sitting in front of them. I'm really excited to see those two working together ahead of Rodri, part of that midfield box that Pep likes to create. I'm really excited to see those two. In the last 3 games or so, have shown little glimpses, in particular Kovacic at Luton and Nunes at Red Star. I know the opposition's not exactly high-end opposition, but I mean, it's not high-end today, really, with all due respect to the J1 League. It's not exactly the strongest team we're going up against today. Fluminense, I think they will present a much bigger challenge, but you can only beat what's put in front of you. And then On the wings, I've gone with Bernardo and Grealish and Foden floating as a false 9. That's my guess. You don't know because there is no genuine centre-forward in this starting 11. So you've got to assume that it's either Bernardo, Grealish or Foden floating in that false 9. I've never seen Pep play Grealish in that role. I've seen him dabble with Bernardo Silva, but in that false 9 season, Foden was the main one out of those 3 that tended to be trusted through the middle as a false 9. So I imagine he's gone with that again. It could just be a completely circulated formation with them all just given free reign, free roaming license to just get where you want, find the pockets of space and make the most of those spaces. And I'm all for that. I quite like seeing the fluidity. We saw it against Luton. We were finding so much space against Luton that we just did not punish them. And a part of me is thinking he's picked this team because these particular group of players, they all need that winning feeling back, don't they? They all need that. There's no pressure on Rico Lewis and Oscar Bob. Their pressure is proving themselves as individuals. I don't think they need to prove themselves to us City fans or to the cause of last season, if that makes sense. The psychology behind this season versus last season and comparing the two, talking about the word complacency. Almost down toolsing is some suggestions I'm hearing from City fans because they've peaked. You know, they've been there, done it all. Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League. So why bother carrying on is some of the attitudes that I'm hearing being accused of. I totally disagree. I think the City players have been, attitude-wise, have been good. Effort's been good. I know people want to see Kyle Walker run in that particular moment against Crystal Palace. I think that's a really subjective part of football, that right there. Should he allow Ruben Diaz to do his job or should he get involved and tackle from behind? I know what I would rather do. If I'm Ruben Diaz, I'm saying stay away from me. I'm dealing with this. And although he didn't, I still don't think it's Kyle Walker's fault. But moving on. This is a trophy that obviously now we know full well Pep's going to go gung-ho. No messing about. This is to be won. And why not? Manchester United won it. Chelsea have won it. Liverpool have won it. I want to say champions of the world. I want to say that. Who doesn't, as a Manchester City fan, want to say that? I can't wait. Sub 2 in the chat. What's FIFA Plus? I think FIFA Plus is a website, I think. I don't think you get it on FIFA Plus. I don't know if it's Plus. I just know it's the FIFA website. But basically, you can stream this game, I believe, on FIFA's website. If you haven't got access to TNT Sports, which is where it's being streamed in the UK, or televised in the UK, you can go to FIFA's website, I believe. They were struggling with connection quality, I remember in the previous tie, so I don't know how good that quality of stream will be for you. Hopefully my commentary and watch-along can be enough to at least give you an idea of what's going on if you have no access to the game. I hope you do. Try out FIFA's website if you haven't got access to TNT though. But teams are in the tunnel. Does anyone want me to read out the who are ya team news? I don't think you do. I don't know who any of them are. I know this Ito Atsuki is a player that is well respected. Look at that. It's all kicking off. Fireworks and monster sparklers right next to the players' faces as they're walking out. Just like, you know, mate, take it easy. It's like a spark in the eye right before kickoff. That's helpful. Soul King Jack, Foden as a false 9. Is that what you reckon? I'm happy to see Nunes start as well, mate. I'm happy to see it. FIFA Plus works. Sign up and it's free to watch, says Sub 2. So get on that. Get on that for anyone who's looking for a way to watch this game. Stadium looks... I can't tell. They've turned the lights off. They need to turn the lights back on before I can tell whether it's full or not. It looks like there's a fair few people in there, to be fair. More than the 2,500 that turned up for Club Lyon versus Urawa Red Diamonds. I think that was 2,500. Which is, I know, they're not that big of clubs, are they? That's to be expected. But Manchester City, who have no fans, apparently, no fans whatsoever, hey, we turn up to town and people pay. People pay the admission price. Cha-ching. Yes, please, Manchester City are in town. Let me watch, says the world. Yet nobody cares about little old City. Yeah. Mustafa, what you eating, mate? What you eating? What you having tonight, mate? Vinny, watched the other semi. It was 100-mile-an-hour end-to-end. Need Walker, Akanji and Ake to just defend and let Stones go forward. The other semi with Fluminense, or the quarters, if there is quarters, it's like the first round is the quarters, really, isn't there? I don't know the format before this. In fairness, I only showed an interest in where City step in. You know what I mean? It's like the third round of the FA Cup is the only time I think most Premier League fans get involved in the FA Cup. You might have a little gander here and there, but first round and second round, you're just waiting to see who we've got. And we've got Huddersfield, by the way, so that's an interesting game. Got good memories of sitting at home every Saturday morning and my dad taped on VHS tape Huddersfield 1, Manchester City 10. And I watched that on repeat as a kid. How many times do you get to see City, anyone, win 10-1? You know, and we did it. My dad recorded the whole game. I used to watch it every weekend. Just City. Hat-trick of hat-tricks. Was it David Oldfield, David White, someone else? Can't remember. So you'll correct me in the chat. Yeah, smash the like button. Deluded Gooner, good to see you, mate. How you doing? Go and check out Deluded Gooner's channel. He's a very respectable Arsenal fan. They're few and far between, those types of Arsenal fans. And we've got another one in the chat as well. Eric Welch was in here as well. He follows me. A very nice Arsenal fan. But go and check out Deluded Gooner. Genuinely a very knowledgeable, good at talking about football, good ball knowledge. Go and check him out. It's worth it. Lucky Burrito with Sriracha. Sounds good, mate. Mate, you live it up, Mustafa, don't you? You absolutely, like, every little meal's, like, really detailed and varied. You've got a very eclectic taste palette, haven't you? I like it. Ella Williams, what is this lineup? Well, it's pretty strong, I think. Breaking news before the game coming from Jack Gorn. Little team huddle there. It looks pretty dead, actually, this stadium. I was just talking about Manchester City selling out. The other camera angle had a full block of fans sat in there, but the looks to be the corporate section. But what was I going to say? Yeah, breaking news before, there's Kyle Walker rallying the troops, showing some leadership skills that I believe that are non-existent, according to most City fans at the minute. The worst captain in the history of Manchester City is Kyle Walker, apparently, but there he was. Doing that. That makes him a leader. But, yeah, breaking news before this video, Doku, Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne will not be making appearances in this Club World Cup, so we will not see them at all during this tournament. Game's about to get underway. It's a bit of a downer, that news, isn't it? Bernardo Silva's about to take kickoff. Is he the false nine? Because Foden's gone out on the right. Bernardo Silva's taking kickoff, waiting for the referee to give the old... And then we'll get underway. Taking his sweet time here, mate. What are you doing? And we're off. Club World Cup. Oh, didn't click the button properly. Club World Cup. Come on. Don't know what to expect of it. Like, atmosphere-wise, I'd love to hear what it's like. Deafeningly silent. I mean, is my hair... Yeah, they're working. The commentator's speaking, but I can't hear a peep. But... it's going to be something to shout about as Manchester City fans. We haven't had that lately. It just feels like very doom and gloom right now, unfairly in my opinion. I totally disagree with the atmosphere around the club right now. I've seen so many comments and a real split in the fan base, which is the last thing I want to do, because I consider myself slap bang in the middle of youth. I don't consider myself to be that old. I'm 35 years old. I don't consider myself to be old. But I do consider myself to be part of the Main Road era. But I'm seeing genuine comments about how the Main Road era fans are deluded and the young fans have high standards. And that split in the fan base between what seems to be youth and older fans, an older generation, is there. And it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. Jeff, rocking up, spamming the crap out of his own face. If anyone's wondering, that's Jeff's face. He's got his own emoji on this channel. He deserves it. He deserves it. And there he is. Give us your prediction, Jeff. That's what we're all here for, mate. City 5-0. James has gone for. Let's do this. People always overreact, knick-knack. That's absolutely true. I do a little bit, to be honest. I might be overreacting to some of them. You know, it's one of them. Oh, Kovacic's ball. Akanji's been dispossessed. Kovacic Urawa bringing it forward. Down the right wing, onto his left foot. He's whipping it in. Kyle Walker, back post clearance. Akanji's ball into Kovacic was okay. A little bit sloppy a touch from Kovacic there. Akanji's gesturing right now at Kovacic, saying, what are you doing, mate? Control the ball. I'm going to struggle to be pronouncing their teams today. There's their manager, Scorza. Their manager was the first manager ever to beat Pep Guardiola in the Champions League 15 years ago. A little fact for you there. Marche, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Marche looks like that. It's got a C, an I, and an E, and an I, and a J in it. I don't know. Marche, I think it is. Scorza is his name. But yeah, that's. I was really hoping to see like 5-10 minutes of Kevin De Bruyne in this Club World Cup. Gutted to not be seeing that. But I mean, take your time. There's no point rushing him back. We've come this far without him. Like what, 3-4 months now without Kevin De Bruyne? What's one more week? Do you know what I mean? Really, I just take it easy. Jeff's no prediction for Jeff today. He just wants to absorb the Club World Cup. I'm kind of with you, Jeff. I know what you mean. It's like it's an odd feeling to be here. I'm excited, but I'm also frustrated because I know what I've left behind as City. We know what we've left behind in the UK. A Premier League table that doesn't look very good right now. A Premier League table that needs rectifying. And form that needs rectifying. Just a couple of players need to gather some confidence. But I feel like this could be the opportunity to do that. Closing down there from Nunes. I'm going to have to learn the Red Diamonds team because I have no idea who's who. I'm guessing that's Schultz, their centre-back. But nothing to speak about really yet. Urawa looking okay. City knocking the ball about, one sloppy pass from Akanji, and that's that. Where are Red Sea Under from? I don't know, mate. Halfway through, who had Villa top 4? I am happy to see the competition, but I'm sure you are frustrated at the dip in form from City. Absolutely, Eric. 100% frustrated, but I have every belief that we can turn this round. I feel there is differences between this season and last season. Long ball from Akanji. Foden's definitely on the right so far, so it looks like Bernardo Silva. Never, ever will Pep Guardiola just let me get one starting 11 right. For God's sake, man. Like, it's just always something different. Always. Bernardo Silva's playing up front, basically. False 9. With Grealish on the left, Foden on the right. And Nunes is really high up the pitch as well. He's almost playing alongside Bernardo Silva. Kovacic is definitely playing as a number 8. It looks like Stones is tucking into midfield alongside Rodri. Just trying to figure out what we're doing here. 3-2. It looks like we're playing 3 at the back with Kyle Walker, Akanji and Ake. Stones and Rodri in front of them. Kovacic and Nunes in front of them. And then Bernardo Silva with Foden and Grealish on the right, which is weird. Because that means Bernardo Silva doesn't have the false 9 responsibility because we've already got the box made in midfield, with the box being John Stones and Rodri, the back 2 corners. The front 2 corners of the box is Kovacic and Nunes, which means there's no need for Bernardo Silva to drop deep. But he is doing. So it's really, really fluid. I like it. I just have to see how well they find the pockets of space. Six minutes in, all City so far. You're right. It was who said in the chat as well. Was it? I can't remember who it was. It was Ian. Ian complaining. I don't know why we're not wearing blue. To be honest, you're absolutely right, mate. Playing in our white and maroon kit. Lovely layoff from Kovacic, almost onto Jack Grealish, like he wasn't expecting it. but keeps it in really well. There's a little pocket of Red Diamond fans behind the goal there, all jumping up and down like barmos. Absolute crazy people over there just going wild, loving their evening in Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of blue shirts around, but I don't know how many has actually travelled from Manchester. I feel like these could be local Man City fans. It's a pentagon midfield, Zubair. Maybe. It's getting wild, Pep, isn't he? Nunes showing some good strength there, holding the ball up really well. Rodri bringing it forward now. City trying to close the gap. Shrinking the pitch a little bit, closing them in, pinning them back a little bit. Urawa. See, oh, Rodri's effort. Oh, bloody hell. Not a million miles away. It was about 30 yards out. Drills it hard and low. Sizzle, well wide, to be honest, by about 4 or 5 yards. But the power he got behind that. I've not got any objections to Rodri having a shot. Just once in a while, not too frequently, but once in a while, a Rodri Thunder bastard is more than welcome. Do I support any championship sides, Johnny? They are having a decent season right now too. I support Blackburn. Loved MGP in the mid-2000s. Hang on a minute. Edison's had to come out of goal. Kante or Martinez. Jose Kante Martinez is his name, but I think he's got Martinez on the back of his shirt. No, I don't, mate. I don't. See, my dad, when I was younger, he was very much of like Stockport County was, because they were nowhere near City. They were in different worlds. They played in different planets, Stockport County and Manchester City, when my dad was watching them before I was born. But over the years that I was born, once I reached about 12 years old, or about 11 years old or so, our worlds collided and Stockport County and Manchester City were playing each other very regularly. So I never really had a second team, whereas my dad sort of considered Stockport County to be his second team because it's local to him. Round the corner from Manchester, for anyone who's wondering where Stockport is. But I never did. See, I went to school with a couple of Stockport County fans who were just loudmouths, you know, and they were beating us. So I hated them. So I've got no one, mate. I've got no one, no other second team. If I had to pick a second team in the world, it'd probably be Borussia Dortmund. Urawa's been sent through here. He's going to keep it in. Oh, sliding tackle, and he nearly keeps it in, but the backspin on his slide tackle sort of like trickles the ball out for a goal kick. But no, I don't really do second teams, mate. Yeah, Vinny, you're absolutely... Edison, mate! Fucking hell. I'd blink for a second and he's like getting caught on the ball. Jose Martinez there, pressing Edison. He got caught on the ball and luckily dropped on it and managed to keep it out. No way. Just looking at this now, that can't be right. 13% possession so far. For Red, it feels more than that. I don't feel like we've been dominating that much. Stefan, worried about the goal threat here. This shouldn't even be a contest and I'm already started. And it's already started rubbish. It's not been brilliant. A little bit sloppy from Akanji in the first minute. Edison now is having a little bit of a wobble. Rodri, good ball into Bernardo Silva. Brings it down, but he's intercepted. And away come Uwara. I can't say it. I'm just going to say, who are you? I can't say it. It's going to be a nightmare, this stream. I knew it was. The second I saw their name, I was like, no one's going to ask me to pronounce that correctly. Red Diamonds. Let's just call them Red Diamonds. It'll be muggy out there tonight. Probably still about 28 degrees, says Nick Knack. It will, mate. It's probably not great. It's probably air conditioned, though, isn't it? These super duper modern stadiums in Saudi Arabia now, they're pretty unbelievable. Some of the architecture and structure and facilities that they have on hand. They don't mess about, do they, with that type of stuff? Lots of swanky facilities there. Air conditioning. Breathing in air-conditioned air, though, as a footballer, I'm not sure I'd want to do that. It'd dry your throat, wouldn't it, running about? You'd end up with a really dry throat. Edison, cool as you like this time. Very composed on the ball there, Edison into Rodri's feet. Rodri's, though, nearly give it away, but Bernardo Silva made it look like a good pass with his tenacity there, and here he is again. Bernardo Silva, who's up front, is now in defensive midfield. So there's that fluidity that I was talking about. Very few players seem to have a fixed position. It's very mobile, which I like. I think it looks all right so far. The system looks okay. We haven't seen much creativity come from it yet. I think we're sizing up because, I mean, Pep surely got to go off the last 3 games. What's he going to do? He's only got so much amount of time. He can't sit there and watch like 5 or 6 games of Red Diamonds' last 5 or 6 matches and study them. He's going to have to rely on data, information given to him, isn't he? And watch the odd bit of highlights here and be shown the odd little passages of play. But to get a real understanding, you need to play in the same league, or at least in Champions League, where you can see them firsthand. Whereas this is going to be a shock to City players. They're not going to know who's good, where's the weak spots and things like that. It won't be easy. Here's Jack Grealish coming down the left. 1-on-1. Jackie boy dinks it back to Bernardo Silva, who keeps the ball really well. Jack Grealish in the penalty area. Shot. It's blocked. Nathan Ake picks it up. Kovacic sort of gets out of the way. Ake trips. He's got to intercept that. Kyle Walker intercepts it. Into Rodri. Left foot ball. Lovely from Rodri, that. Weaker foot into Foden's path. Wasn't an easy ball, that, with your weaker foot. John Stones. Foden. Into Rodri. Passing it around a little bit quicker now. There you go. Kovacic pops it round the corner to Foden. He's got to slow it down again, though. Rodri. Nunes. Kovacic. Walker. We are adopting relationism from Fluminense. Have we got the good contacts with Fluminense? They had, what's his face playing? Marcelo. Red Diamonds nearly get through there. Akanji gets a big toe on it there. Vital. Where you live, air conditioning is opening the window. Yeah, mate. Where do you live, Section 20? Don't put your whole dress in there. Just give us a rough idea. Just for your own safety. Because there's some wild ones in that chat. Might come and hunt you down, mate. Oh, Bernardo Silva. Oh, he's whipped it over the bar. Jack Grealish slowed it down as he usually does on the left wing. Lays it to Bernardo Silva. First time effort from Bernardo. Whips it and it's a couple of yards over the bar. But not bad. Sunny Scotland, eh? I've only ever been to Scotland like twice. And both was for work a while ago. Long time ago. Miguel, hopefully Walker isn't playing right wing. He isn't definitely playing as a... Well, he's not even a traditional right back because I think we're playing with 3 at the back right now, which makes Walker the right-sided centre-back. John Stones has been pushing into midfield a little bit, but only when City have the ball. You can see him here. I'm just watching him right now. John Stones just looks around, sees the space, and once he realises, right, we've set up the system. He's now fully steps forward and he's alongside Rodri. So it is 3 at the back, which I'm surprised at because it seemed to be a system that was there for Haaland. The reason we played 3 at the back was because of Haaland and how he doesn't drop into midfield. That's not his strengths. Whereas there's a overload of Manchester City players in midfield. And they're using it to our advantage right now. Bernardo Silva through the middle, out to Jack Grealish now onto the left. Jack Grealish onto his right foot. He thinks about it, he's tackled. Nathan Ake steps in, tries to burst past Jack Grealish. Here's Grealish again. Plays it out to Walker. Plays it back to John Stones. Akanji. Kovacic. Our attack is as dead as these kits we are wearing. Yeah. It hasn't been brilliant so far in an attacking sense, but we've had lots of passes, but very meaningless passes at the minute. Walker sprinting forward out of nowhere. Here's Kyle Walker bringing it forward, nods it into the penalty area. It's cleared. See, that's the issue. We're seeing it right now, is the role that Kyle Walker has it's got bigger ends to the spectrum for what is expected of him. Typically, we expect Kyle Walker to get to a halfway line, don't we? And maybe go 5-10 yards beyond the halfway line and offer a little bit of width. Very rarely getting into the final third. Occasionally, maybe. Now this season, if he is, I mean, lately he hasn't been, but earlier on in the season, he was asked to get so high up. To then ask him to have his barnstorming defensive runs where he tracks back. He normally starts at the halfway line. Now he's starting at the edge of their penalty area, and you're expecting him to get back like 200 yards in the blink of an eye. He's not fucking Superman, mate. He's a human being. He's quick, but he's not that quick. But still, not seeing much of him going forward in this game, and I prefer him in this role. I'm happier with him in this role. Foden. Nunes. They've got a good shape, you know. We are not breaking them down at all. Ryan, good to see you, Ryan. Kanji's trying to make something of it. Ake. Grealish. Goes early cross. Bernardo Silva gets on the end of it. Unlucky, that. Not a bad ball from Jack Grealish. Bernardo Silva's run was really clever. First time effort. Bernardo Silva's stretching, outstretched left leg, swinging, trying to volley on it, and he just gets the outside of his boot and it sort of just skims off his boot and into the hands of Hirokoshimimi, the goalkeeper. Sorry, I'm really not trying not to offend any, if there is any Japanese in the chat. I do apologise, I'm sorry. I'm useless at pronouncing these names. Nishikawa is his name. And Ito, Hoibraten, Koizumi, Kante, Sakin, Akimoto, Iwao, Okubu, Yasui, and Schultz all play for City Extra. That Schultz name stands out, doesn't it? In there. Well, the TV's bugging out right now. Good old TNT Sports showing us a little cabinet there for some reason. Foden's going to intercept that. He is. What is this new camera angle I'm seeing? I don't care. It's very, very... I'm a million miles away from the game right now, but TNT are having a little bit of a brain fart right now because they are clearly having technical problems because they've had to change the camera angle and it's a poor ball from Nunes. The TV sort of like flashed then. Went brrr, flashed and then showed like a cabinet. Like in the stadium, just some metal cabinet on camera, a little flash. And now the camera angle's gone to like the moon. And we're like trying to see the game now. Like from, they're all little ants, little red ants and white ants running about. This is great. Beautiful from TNT, this. This is what I pay the big bucks for. This. Shower. We look like Chelsea against a low block. Soul King Jack. He is injured at the minute, Mustafa. Doku. We have him, but I'm scared that he becomes injured. Well, he is injured at the minute, isn't he? So, have we missed him? Quietly, I think you could say maybe, possibly. The Luton game, we won. Crystal Palace, we should have won, and we looked very good in that first 75 minutes without him. Still, though, I'd rather have Doku than not have him. Absolutely. I feel like he's got a point to prove, Doku, as well. There is something about him. Out of the whole season, he's been the brightest spark, I think, this season. Something that's excited me, excited most City fans. End product still needs refining a little bit. He's far from the finished article. He is not the complete player yet, but he's well on his way. And he's not a million miles away from being considered one of the best wingers. Certainly in the Premier League right now. What he's capable of is scary as a dribbler. Just needs to refine that final ball. Corner ball to Manchester City. It is the opposite of the Luton camera. The Luton camera, I could see right into the ear of Kovacic. I could see how much earwax he had and everything. Nunes whipping it in. Yeah, it was way too close against Luton, wasn't it? Foden It's got Nunes on the overlap. Confusion between the two of them, but they keep it somehow. Nunes made a run, then stopped, and Foden passed it. Luckily, they kept hold of it and get it back to Foden. Let's see, they've got an opportunity to link up again, and they do. Foden. Back to Walker. First time ball to Rodri. Rodri right in the middle of the pitch. Sprays one out to Jack Grealish down the left-hand side. Jack Grealish has got Bernardo Silva ahead of him down the left wing. Kovacic is offering an underlap for Bernardo Silva. Back to Rodri in the middle of the pitch. Akanji offers a little pocket of space, but his ball, little bounce pass from Akanji out to Walker was a poor one. He's got to send Walker back to go and chase it, but City still have the ball now. Urawa Red Diamonds didn't even bother chasing that, to be honest. They look like they're ready for the low block for the rest of this game and hopefully spring a counter-attack. And I mean, this is just the pattern of play we've seen all season. All season we've seen this. Playing this level of football, controlling the game, 22 minutes in, dominating possession, some nice passes, little moments of networks of passes being built, not enough chance creation yet though. Here could be an opportunity for one. Foden's cross is headed high into the sky and Nishikawa catches it. It's going to be a slow night when I'm talking about them. Thankfully, City have the ball, so there's very little opportunity for me to actually say a Red Diamond's name. And hopefully we can keep it that way. Foden. John Stones, 1-2 with Rodri. Foden's very much a right winger in this game. Back to the position I think some City fans don't want to see him in. I'm interested to see what Foden's involvement in this team is long term for this season, because people are crying out for him to be a central player. I'm still not convinced he can do that role as effectively. He can, absolutely can do it. Oh, Red Diamond's coming forward. Akanji there's getting a booking straight away. He got done there. He got done, Akanji, by, I think it was Akimoto, who beats Akanji, and Akanji just says, nah, mate. Grabs him, rugby tackles him, pulls him back with both hands. Yellow card straight away. Yeah, Phil Foden's involvement in the middle of the pitch, I'm not entirely convinced he can be as effective. Think of David Silva. Do you think of David Silva when you think of Phil Foden? I don't. I think of him as a left-footed player, yeah, and a small, agile. Does he keep the ball as well as David Silva? No. He turns it over very frequently, Phil Foden. He does turn it over. And that's because he's a high-risk player. He dribbles a lot with it, and he tries to do different things, Phil Foden. He's not a ticking over type player. Gundogan keeps the ball really well. David Silva, in particular, was probably the best we've ever had in that role that we're talking about. Is Phil Foden there? I'm not convinced he is. I think he can do it. He's a good player, fucking brilliant player, but he's just been fouled as well. But I don't see him out as a Gundogan replacement or a David Silva protege type player. I don't see him as that. I see him more as an explosive type player. I like an energised player. A little bit more in the Doku realm than the David Silva realm, if that makes sense. He's sort of a blend between the two, if anything, Foden. He can do both roles, but he's not as controlled. Phil Foden's cross is blocked. Kyle Walker has an opportunity. Whips it, back post. And it's a poor one. Jack Grealish keeps it in by the corner flag. This is what we've been talking about there, and it's gone out for a goal kick as well. Kyle Walker's crossing ability is just not something we want to see anymore. I think City fans are absolutely right. I am in total agreement with City fans who say his attacking role in this team is not something we want to see. I think he's a very good defender, though, Kyle Walker, and we will need him at the other end of the pitch. And let's just play to his strengths, Foden is still only 23, let's not forget. Absolutely, mate. That's the thing. He is very, very young. Have you seen the growth that you wanted in him from seeing 19-year-old Phil Foden 4 years later? Have you seen more growth, or the growth that you were expecting, or has he underperformed in your expectancy of growth? As a City fan, I expected him to be a little bit higher in his growth, a little bit more further into his development by now. But I don't think he's certainly not declined in any way, shape or form. I just thought I'd see a little bit more from Phil Foden by now. But still, what a player he is, He's capable of brilliant things. Jack Grealish coming down the left side. And that ball to Jack Grealish, by the way, for the first goal against Crystal Palace, that is David Silva and him doing that number 10 role really, really well. So while I'm saying I'm not convinced he could do it over the course of 90 minutes for the whole season, I still think he's capable of doing it. Bernardo Silva into Phil Foden, the man of the hour, blocked shot. But then we also saw Phil Foden do the role that I highlighted in my most recent video, or no, the second most recent video before my preview about Kyle Walker. Foden, lovely from Phil Foden, driving forward and his pass is intercepted. Rodri with a shot, just wide. Phil Foden driving forward. But what we saw from Foden in that last 5 minutes is, when the ball broke at the halfway line and they went up the other end and got the penalty, albeit I know it was Phil Foden who committed the foul for the penalty, and whether it Walker who should have kicked it or Foden should have kicked it, I'm not bothered. The ball was given away, and we should have kept that ball for the final 2 minutes. But the ball was given away on the halfway line. That was a bigger crime than anything in that particular moment of the game. With all that pocket of space, that was a killer. Corner ball to Manchester City. Jack Grealish. Lovely ball from Jack Grealish, punched away. Foden's brought it down beautifully on the edge of the area there. He's going to ask for it back off Bernardo Silva, though. Bernardo Silva working into the box. Rodri! Oh! Laid it off for Rodri. Side foot, first time effort. Probably parallel with the penalty spot, but from an angle, tries to whip it. Shot's blocked. We've got a big red wall to get past. This is a real low block from Red Diamonds. Rodri, we look like we're going to score soon. I feel a goal coming here. Walker's cross is poor. First post. First man at the near post. Got to beat him, Kyle, there. That's 2 out of 2. Stinkers. Absolute stinker crosses from Kyle Walker. I don't know why he even bothered crossing it there. That wasn't even on. And who are we crossing it to? Bernardo in the air. Bernardo Silva. Foden. Jack Grealish. We haven't got the aerial ability to be whipping it in. It's got to be on the money if you're going to do it. You know what I mean? It's got to be bang on the money if you're going to be crossing it to these size players. We've not got a big side on the pitch right now. Jack Grealish, left side. Foden, first time delivery. Nunes is about the one player I was about to say who's got some height, a bit of aerial ability, and he nearly showed it then. Got his head on it, but not enough to guide it towards the goal from Phil Foden's cross. Nunes again. Kovacic, out wide to Kyle Walker. Great ball from Walker into Rodri. Rodri's found a pocket of space. Into Kovacic, and he couldn't bring the ball with him. The ball was sort of behind him from Rodri, but he's won it back. Red Diamond struggling to get it away, and they panic and boot it, and it's not even past the halfway line. It's coming right back. City are turning the screw a little bit here, ramping up the tempo, showing a bit of tenacity. Here comes Nunes, trying to turn his man. It's Nunes! Mateus Nunes! Oh, it's saved. Good little passage of play for the last 3 or 4 minutes there. Really high energy, fast-paced football. Red Diamonds can't live with us right now. Nunes getting a bit fortunate how he got through his defender there. Poor defending there, to be honest. Walked through him like water. Defensive masterclass so far. From who? From us or from Red Diamonds? They've been all right, defensively, they're okay. We're not creating that. That was probably one of the clearest chances I've seen in this game. Other than that, we've been resorted to. Rodri's effort then was blocked. Shots that are being blocked right now, and it's. Teams are getting so deep against us. Jack Grealish is taking the piss with the referee. The referee wants the ball to be a millimetre closer to the quadrant for the corner. Here comes the corner. Near post. Poor. Again, crossing ability winds me up. Think of our crosses of the ball in our peak Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne number 1. I'd say Riyad Mahrez number 2 is probably the best crosser of a ball after Kevin De Bruyne. Gundogan number 3, and they're all not available. So, 2 of them have left the club entirely. So our ability to get it into the box accurately and dangerously is limited right now. And we've been resorting to Alvarez, who's not bad at taking corners, Not bad, but is he anywhere near the level of crossing ability of Mahrez, Gundogan, De Bruyne? Absolutely not. We are lacking in set pieces, I think. I wonder if Kovacic can take a corner. Stones trying to get back. Good foot from John Stones. Rodri's nodded it back dangerously. Ake says, what are you doing? Have it back, mate. Rodri just heads it back into the danger zone, and Ake says, piss off with that, mate, and head it back, right back to where it came from. Cancelo was, he was a great crosser of the ball. He really was, Soul King. Some of the outside of the foot stuff was sublime. Don't want that attitude, though. I'm glad he's gone. Attitude-wise, absolute rotten egg. But, yeah, unbelievable ability to cross the ball. Completely agree with you, mate. That one against Dortmund for Haaland. Bernardo Silva. Oh, he's turned him. Bernardo Silva. His crosses, shots blocked again. They're getting bodies behind the ball here, Red Diamonds. Defending for their lives. I mean, they've got a long way to go to keep this game a clean sheet for them right now. Ball dinked in. And I got to remember it because I'm going to say his name more than anyone else's. Nishikawa collects the ball from Rodri's cross. A little bit. Knick-knack. Yeah, a little bit. Mendy was very good at crossing the ball. Really good. I'm talking mainly the last two seasons. Last season and the season before. Our best crossers of the ball. Certainly Kevin De Bruyne. But we're missing that ability. And it's not... We don't always cross the ball either. We're surprisingly good at set pieces. We were surprisingly good at set pieces. Ake's fallen down there and he gets really lucky. He slips Ake in a one-on-one situation against, I think it was a Kubo. I might just give up. Against number 21. Foden beats his man brilliantly. Tries to feed in Jack Grealish and Jack Grealish is intercepted there. His ball wasn't onto him, to be honest. He tried to find the inside channel, Jack Grealish. Phil Foden tried to feed him early. Beats his man really well, Phil Foden. Then tries to feed a ball into Jack Grealish. But the defender smelt it straight away and intercepted. Kovacic is beaten. That's the press that we've been seeing getting beaten quite a bit at times this season. First time I've seen Red Diamonds knock it about. Couple of passes. Mustafa's off. See you later, Mustafa. Have a good night, mate. Seems to be an issue with modern football that players seem unable to cross the ball. Oh, Edison comes out, sweeper keeper, long ball over the top for Kante Martinez. Edison steps up, wins it. Yeah, you don't see that many traditional... Nowadays, corners are rarely just whipped in. Usually, City in particular, we tend to take short corners, and we're pretty good at them. You know, we are pretty dangerous at short corners. Foden, lovely touch from Phil Foden. Just cushions it around the corner of his marker. Jack Grealish beats his man, lovely. Jack Grealish, got to be a left foot. Took it too long there. Needs to get that crossing a little bit quicker, but really good football from Jack Grealish there to beat his man. Kovacic, edge of the area. Rodri. Kovacic. Taking a short corner, like I said. Foden, edge of the area. Shot from Phil Foden. Nikisaki Waki. Sorry. It's not going to happen, is it? Nikisaki Waki. Who's that guy? Who the fuck is that? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Nishikawa. Nikisaki Waki. Sorry, I'm trying not to be offensive, but I can't say his name right at all. Kovacic. Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Dinks it back post. The goalkeeper collects the ball. Long ball from Nikisaki Waki. So I gotta stop. It's getting borderline offensive now, isn't it? Let's be honest. Ake, bringing it forward. Looks like we play with a double false nines, Bernardo and Nunes. You might be right, you know. Nunes is the highest player up the pitch right now. He's the one pinning the Red Diamonds furthest back. Bernardo Silva on the right wing. You made me chuckle at that. Nicky Saki Wacky will score first. Akanji. Drop a like on the stream if you've just arrived or if you've forgotten. Please do, it really helps. We need to score in this first half, says Fila. It's good to see me laugh. You haven't seen me laugh in a while, have you? I've been miserable, gamification. I've been bloody miserable. Bloody hell! Haaland's face just like filled my whole screen. Then I'll just quickly glance at the chat. Or I'll just glance back and not a single pixel of my TV had any space for other than Haaland's face, which was just massive on the screen then. And then he smiled and went like that and freaked me out. Bloody hell. Cameraman's getting wild with it. Ake steps in. Really big interception from Ake. Nunes, edge of the area. Get a shot away, mate. He does. Straight down the throat of Nicky. Haaland Terminator scares you. Just say Nicky Wacky Wacky. If I don't know anyone's name, that's their name in future. So the whole of Red Diamond's team is called Nicky Wacky Wacky, basically. Nicky Saki Wacky. Get it right, Soul King. God. Nicky Wacky Wacky. Who the fuck's that? Nicky Saki Wacky, mate. Get it right. Come on. Tactics shoot straight at the keeper. That seems to be it, Stefan, at the minute. Because very few have tested him properly. A few efforts have gone wide of the goal and all the rest of that are on target have gone straight at him, in fairness, yeah. Hi, guys. Good to see you, Tuna. Hope you're doing well. And Jan as well. Good to see you. I might have missed you already. Appreciate that, Jan. And KDB, the crowd goes wild. It does look good, doesn't it? It's an interesting game, Issa. Ake. Kanji. Walker. John Stones has found a little pocket space. He's got to come back out of the area, though. Goes back to Nunes. Phil Foden, who's been really good so far in this game. He's showed himself. He's presented. He's offered himself on the ball. It's been a little bit of a bright spark. In a reasonably dull game, to be honest. There's not that much chance creation. Not much. I would be very, very happy if I was Red Diamonds. I'd be very happy. They've kept us at bay. And not really looking like they're struggling to do it either, to be honest. Which is frustrating. I mean, we played so much better against Crystal Palace. So much better. In the first half in particular. Spurs first half, brilliant. Liverpool first half, battered them. How much do you want to bet we just comfortably win this game by a scoreline that looks like we dominated, but we actually didn't play that well? That would sum it up, really, wouldn't it? It would be kind of just for the way things are going, but at the minute, it doesn't look like City look like scoring at the minute. There's glimpses. We are getting occasional shots away. It's just not... Like I said, I wouldn't be scared if I was Red Diamonds. I would be quite happy with how the game's panned out so far. Bernardo Silva. They're so deep, though. They are really, really deep. Ake. He's going to whip it back post. It was never on Nathan Ake there, mate. Bernardo Silva picks it up. Kovacic. Oh, lovely. Kovacic, he's been out-strengthened there by Schultz. Really good defending from Schultz. Is it Schultz? I'm not sure if it's Schultz. Might have been Hoybert Barton. Jack Grealish. Just chuckling about Nicky Saki Wacky. Theo's going to take his shirt off if City wins. Ake, first time cross deep. Nunes wins it. Is that a corner? Hands up in the air for a corner from City players. Not going to get it, though. The people in your vicinity, Theo, if City win, I presume, You are a incredibly buff and athletic individual, and whipping your shirt off is going to make them very, very happy surroundings for you. But you could be like one of those Geordies as well, to be fair. You could be one of those Geordies who are just like so proud to be like 30 stone, just swinging it around, covered in Newcastle tattoos. Tuna, thanks for becoming a member, mate. Really appreciate that. Anyone who wants to become a member and support Typical City, you get access to a few emojis. Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, Doku, Jeff is in the chat as well. You get him. And a few other players, Rodri, I think Foden, I think. Yeah, and if you can support the channel, it really does help. And you can find that link in the description below, or there should be a join button below. Kyle Walker's going to have to do some defending here, uses his speed, gets back, intercepts it, kicks it back to Edison. Back to Kyle Walker. Are we lacking a long shooter? I think Rodri's our only one that I would consider someone from long range. Haaland, I think, he rarely gets into an opportunity to hit it from range, Erling Haaland. But I think if you put him 30 yards out from goal and ask him to take 100 shots, I reckon 90% of them are going to end up in the back of the net from Erling Haaland. Other than that, Rodri. Alvarez might be able to dig it. Foden tends to hit the ball sweet and low, very low. Foden, he's good. He's got a good shot that he manages to keep down. One ball over the top. Martinez steps up and John Stones gets back and intercepts it. Little opportunity for Martinez there. Martinez, who's reportedly retiring at the end of the season. He's got 8 goals in 24 appearances to his name. There's some Red Diamonds facts for you there. Let's play a truth or dare. Theo, mate, you're getting... I don't like where this is going. Theo, Jack Grealish dinks it over the attempted tackle and he's in. He's overran it. Overran it. Not a bad effort. Good play to beat his man in the first place, but then he overruns it. Lovely play that from Jack Grealish. Little dink over a sliding tackle. Knows it's coming, sees it, dinks it up in the air. Slide tackle goes underneath the ball. Jack Grealish runs away with it, but in the moment where he's running away with it, he overhits it. Straight out for a goal kick. 20 yards is long range for City. It is. Yeah, De Bruyne, of course. Semerald, absolutely. De Bruyne, long range, unbelievable. Unbelievable long range efforts. Probably the best in the team. Yeah, completely. It's mad how we've just forgotten about him. Well, I haven't forgotten about him, but I also don't think we should be thinking, oh, Kevin De Bruyne straight back into the team, wham bam, City, just this sublime, unstoppable juggernaut all of a sudden because Kevin De Bruyne is back. I hope that happens. I just think we need to rein it down a little bit and give him 2 or 3 games to find his feet because it's not going to be instant. Lovely turn from Matheus Nunes there. Brilliant burst of speed. There's that speed we've seen again. Here he is down the right wing. Nunes' cross, it's an own goal! All from Matheus Nunes. Brilliant football from Matheus Nunes. The spin on the halfway line. Beats his man beautifully. Lays it off to Bernardo Silva. Doesn't stop Nunes. Says, I'm not going to stand there and admire my pass. Although it was a good pass, I'm going to keep going, mate. Bursts into the under channel there. Underlaps. Bernardo Silva finds him straight to the byline. Great ball across. If there's an Erling Haaland or a Julian Alvarez, they're getting a tap in. But the slide tackle from, I think it's Hoybratton of Red Diamonds, puts it into his own net at the near post. Nunes assist. Matheus Nunes, welcome to... Oh, he's not really his goal, is it? But still, I mean, he's getting close to being... getting himself a goal, Nunes. Brilliant. Brilliant from Nunes, that. 1-0. Well done, Nunes. It's Nunes, isn't it, apparently? That's another name that I think most people would call him Nunes, especially English people, if you see the name spelt. But apparently it's Nunes. Roblox, get in. Ian Nunes is a slow burn, beginning to find himself. I mean, it's still not even Christmas, is it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, if he starts to find his feet now, by the gauge of... Hang on a minute, Red Diamonds have dinked it back post. Well done. Kyle Walker was backtracking and backtracking. The cross was so deep, couldn't get anything on it. Bernardo Silva gets back and gives away a corner. But what was I talking about? Can't remember now. They're toothless. Paul, how you doing, Paul? You all right, mate? Basong, we may not reach the kind of quality we had last season. We lost so much quality, intelligence and creativity in Gundo and Mahrez. Grealish is none of those three qualities. Hang on a minute, corner. Near post, Núñez again. Doing really well there. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Jack Grealish isn't as good as Gundogan or Mahrez. I agree with you. I do think he's a good player, though, and I think you're being a bit harsh. Grealish and Martinez kicking off here, going nose to nose, forehead to forehead. It's getting a bit tasty in the FIFA Club World Cup, Saudi Arabia 2023. Jack Grealish is welcoming him himself to the party with a bit of aggro. Theo's actually in the amateurs Man City team. I didn't know we had one, mate. I didn't know we had an amateurs Man City team. Are they taking people on? Are they signing anybody? I'll happily join, mate. If they're signing anybody, Man City amateurs. Let us know when you're next playing, Theo. I'll do a watch-along. It's half time. That flew by. That did, didn't it? Sort the clock out. Not the most scintillating first half of football, in truth. A little bit. I think we have to pay a lot of respect to Red Diamond's ability to keep us out and not really allow us many chances. They had a good setup. Defensively, they looked sturdy. They dealt with a lot of crosses coming into the box, except for the one most important at the end of that half where Núñez cross was tucked in to its own net. You're a boy, so it's okay. Okay, Theo, this is getting weird now, mate. It's getting weird. You told me you were taking your top off before. It's getting weird, Theo. Now, I don't know how old you are, mate. So let's keep it at that. 223 legends. Please smash the likes, Blues. Appreciate that sub too. If you could, yeah, 102 likes already. That's great. Thank you very much for helping me reach 100 likes. Who's exhausted, Paul? They are or we are? I was talking about Núñez, was I? I can't remember what I was saying, Letty. I can't remember. Well, I love how you guys have got to correct me. Like, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Still can't remember. Yeah, Núñez has been brilliant. I think he's been really, really good. And I'm excited to see what he can bring in the second half. There's something about him as well. There's a ruggedness to his game. It's not... I wouldn't actually call him a pet player. I don't think he looks like a pet player in terms of that. Get the ball, control it, keep it cool. He looks quite aggressive in his style, in his approach to the whole game. It's like get the ball, head up, and run with it. He is really aggressive, and we just saw exactly that. We saw it against Red Star with that first half in particular. Some of those runs he was doing back down the right wing. I had no idea he could carry the ball or move that quickly. I didn't think you ever consider him to be a speed player. He doesn't look lightning. He's not like Kyle Walker or that level of speed, but he moves with it really well. Really, really well. Saw it again in this half. He got himself a goal by doing that exact thing. By bursting forward with it. I'm really, really impressed with him. Can't underestimate his work rate as well. He seems a hard worker. And another tick in the box for me. Hard-working player. Saw him at the end of that game, at the end of that half, sorry. Near post cross comes in from their first corner of the game. Núñez was there to clear it. Good. Really, really good. I think Phil Foden's been good. I think this first half has definitely shown the qualities that Phil Foden has on offer are there for all to see. His little really delicate, quick touches to knock it round players that think they're about to get the ball, but they don't because he's too quick and sharp with his footwork. Really good from Phil Foden. I think Jack Grealish could offer a little bit more. His end product in that left wing so far has been a bit lacking. He's done a good couple of bits of skill. He's beaten a player twice, but then not got his cross in quick enough. And then the second time he overran it after beating the player. But he's the cut of a frustrated figure right now, Jack Grealish, in that half, and I think he wants to carry on his form, in particular in the goal scoring department, because he's, what was it, 2-2 in Premier League anyway from Jack Grealish. So I thought he was playing reasonably well prior to this game. Jack Grealish, I think he deserved his start, but needs to up his game. That first half was a little bit more of the Jack Grealish prior to his goal against Luton. You know, a little bit frustrating to watch. Bernardo Silva's not been that much better than Jack Grealish, in truth. A couple of link-up play with Núñez was really good. And Kovacic has just been a little bit of a springboard for the team. I haven't seen much to talk about from Kovacic. He's certainly not been bad. He's having a quiet game and just bounce passes off him, receiving the ball 1 touch, 2 touch at most, bouncing passes off him. It's really good. Rodri's been heavily involved. Stones has looked all right, stepping forward. A couple of good bits of defensive play from John Stones in that first half, towards the end of that first half, where I wouldn't call it a counter-attack, but there was a little glimpse of a potential counter-attacking, but he gets back and intercepts. Other than that, Ake, Akanji, Walker, not much defensively to do. Passing has been all right. Walker needs to sort his crosses out again with that same phrase of Kyle Walker can't cross the ball, ringing true as ever in this first half. He cannot cross the ball. I thought he was brilliant for crossing the ball against Crystal Palace. The stats back me up in what I said against Crystal Palace. I think it was harsh, some of the criticism Kyle Walker received against Crystal Palace, and I think that was the whole point of why I was frustrated the other day, because I felt like he was a scapegoat for a very understandable amount of frustration from City fans. And I understand as football fans we need to find something. We need to find something to blame. Something or someone has to be culpable to the wrath of Manchester City fans. I understand that you want to figure it out, but that wasn't figuring it out. That wasn't sitting down and let's work it out. As City fans, as a group of City fans, we didn't do that. We just went, he's shit. Kyle Walker, that's what I kept hearing. He's shit. He's shit. But why is he shit? Like, explain yourself. Like, what has he done? What has he done that in that Palace game for me? And I know what people are saying, and he should have tracked the run of Ruben Diaz, where Ruben Diaz was one-on-one with Schlupp. I disagree. I don't know of situations where one defender defends from that side and another from that side, and they sandwich a player. That normally ends up in a foul when two players collide or chaos. And I think Kyle Walker was just allowing Ruben Diaz in that moment to defend, just allowing him to do his job. Ruben Diaz didn't block the cross. Could have done a little bit better there, Ruben Diaz. I'm being really harsh, I think, by saying that. But yeah, no, I don't think he had a bad game, Kyle Walker, against Crystal Palace. But moving on from that now. Walker deserves all the criticism because even today he was the reason Akanji was booked, says Divine. Do you think Foden is playing all right? I do, Gaming Facts. Yeah, I think he's playing really good. Really good in this first half. He's done some really good footwork. There he is now, just looking at the highlight. I had a couple of block shots, little intricate touches that he's done. Very delicate, clever, little moments of agility to find. There he is again, coming offering himself. Burst of speed there from Phil Foden. Just looking at the highlights now. Really unlucky. Tried one of those step overs followed by a nutmeg pass out to Bernardo Silva. And if that comes off, that was probably City's best opportunity. All from Phil Foden's making. So I think he's been really good so far, Phil Foden. Playing centrally. Probably his favourite position. I think City fans as a whole prefer to see him there than out on the wing. I'm not bothered where he plays. Between right wing and left wing or central. I'm not bothered about Phil Foden. I think he can do all three roles. I still believe that Phil Foden is not a David Silva. He's not an Ilkay Gundogan. He's more aggressive with the ball. And you would never see David Silva dribble and beat 3 or 4 players with the ball. David Silva didn't do that. He just did 360 spins on the ball until the defender didn't even know what day it was. Do you know what I mean? And he just spins it, and then he'd lay this most delicious pass, and a defence-splitting pass that comes out of nowhere. David Silva was the best, man. He was the best. Such a good player. I miss him. Yeah, he really is. Tuna. I honestly feel that we have not replaced Gundo, Sandile says. We need that player who can make something out of nothing. Even if KDB comes back, we will still have the same problems. I totally agree that it was too early in the season prior to the last couple of weeks to start saying, oh, we missed Gundogan. If we lose a game, it's because Gundogan wasn't playing. Oh, no, we haven't got Mahrez. There are moments in the last month where I've thought, if that was a Gundogan moment there, then we would have done something totally different. Example, Phil Foden on the halfway line against Crystal Palace in the 92nd minute. If that's Gundogan who gets the ball, there is no way Gundogan tries to dribble across the pitch, not towards their goal, across the halfway line, towards their defence, overhit it, and get tackled and dispossessed. There's no way Gundogan would have done that. He would have just kept spinning on the spot until a very obvious pass came into his vision. And the thing was, at that moment when Phil Foden got the ball, there was 2 obvious passes on immediately. He didn't need to dribble at that moment. He could have fed a ball out wide to Bernardo Silva and sent him to the corner flag. He could have cushioned it back to Rodri in that moment. City keep the ball. 2 minutes of the game remain. Just keep the ball. Don't try and beat people. Pass it about. We'd been doing that and since they'd scored their first goal. And we'd been doing a really good job of it. Until that moment that we saw, and we saw the amount of turnovers that City had. That was Phil Foden. The amount of turnovers that came from him. His inability to keep the ball in the dying embers of the game cost us. But make no mistake, Phil Foden's been brilliant this first half. Absolutely sensational against Red Diamonds. So really pleased that he's proving a point, which is good. Am I the only one knowing we'll probably concede in this match? Lorenzo, mate, you're right. It's a habit of ours, isn't it, at the minute? It's a really shite habit that we need to get rid of. And you've sank a dagger into my heart a little bit there, Lorenzo, mate, reminding me that we probably will concede some stupid goal out of nothing. What do you think of Fernandinho coming back to Manchester for a visit? I was thrilled to see him. He looks well. I love Fernandinho. Yeah, hasn't he still got his house here? I'm sure he's still got like connections here, and we do that with players, don't we? We do. Some players. Leroy Sané, for example, he still has his apartment in Manchester, I believe. I wouldn't read too much into that with regards to City going in for him as a target, as a transfer target. One day, maybe. I'd love that. We have been linked with him. The credibility of those links, certainly not in January. There's no way Bayern Munich are letting a Leroy Sané leave in the middle of their season. Not a cat in hell's chance. But, yeah, I think that's a really good indication of how well the club and Manchester City look after their players and how well the imprint that we have on them as individuals, not what they have on us, what the club does as them. They all go away. The majority of players that sign for City and play with us for more than 3 years, they go away to other leagues, and if they don't leave and go to another club in the Premier League, for example, if they leave the country, they leave as City fans and they stay City fans. And like you say, Fernandinho, they come back and they remember Manchester City. Leroy Sané's come back. Fernandinho's come back. We see so many. How many times have we seen Pablo Zabaleta come back? Company. All these people, they're not Mancs. They're not Mancunians. But they spent such a long time here. And we've created a legacy of players. So many. And generations of them now. It's not like, oh, that was just that one team. Zabaleta, Yaya Toure, David Silva, Aguero, Company, Joe Hart. Those players there were a generation. We've now got other players that are leaving. I think if you speak to Gundogan, what does he say? Fernandinho, like you say. We have Leroy Sané. All these players of different generations, they now come back. And I just remembered, the word legend might be a bit much for Leroy Sané, but for Fernandinho, no. I think he's a legend. I think he's a genuine legend of Manchester City. I think Leroy Sané wasn't with us for long enough for me to call him a legend, an unbelievable player, and one that I would have back at Manchester City in a heartbeat. He's become a better player since he's left City as well. He's better, in my opinion, than he had that. He's playing quite centrally at Bayern, Leroy Sané. He's really like a new role that, I'm pretty sure we heard an interview with Pep saying, I would never play Leroy in the middle. He is a wide left winger only. But Tuchel's trusting him to drift inside, and he doesn't look out of sorts, does he? He looks very, very comfortable in the middle of the park, and he ghosts past players. Could Oscar Bob be Richard Dunn? Yeah, Richard Dunn as well. Who forgets Richard Dunn? He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where. Richard Dunn. Richard Dunn. I went to my dad's the other day and found a box of City shirts. My City shirts as a kid. And I mean, some of them are manky now because they've been buried in his cellar basement. To you Americans, honestly, yeah, like some of the shirts that I had, man, I'm tempted to get them up, but the mini ones. There was when I was like a kid, when I was like 5, so like I could give it to my son maybe, but like older shit, like one wash and they will just deteriorate. But I've got so many classic City shirts. Richard Dunn is on the back of one of them, which is why I brought that up. Yeah. But, yeah, Richard Dunn was a hell of a player. One of the greatest own goal scoring machines ever. But he actually was an amazing player. I really think he was a good player. And he didn't exactly fall off when he went to Villa. When he moved to Aston Villa, he stayed there, and he was their like main go-to centre-back for about 3 years at Aston Villa. Didn't he play alongside Lescott? Did he play alongside Lescott? Did he? No. What am I talking about? Lescott didn't even play for Villa, did he? Lescott's a Villa fan, isn't he? Did he ever play for Aston Villa, Lescott? Can't remember now. But he's definitely an Aston Villa fan, isn't he? I think he's a City fan now, Joleon Lescott. He's another one. Someone he's still in our coaches as well. He's one of our coaches. Players are back. Onto the pitch. That's it, Douglas. Our ex-players are always welcome. Apart from the ones that badmouth us on their way out of the door. You know, James Milner. Sterling was a bit much, some of the stuff that he said. I'm not gonna. I asked the question like you won't remember. Of course you remember. Gareth Barry, man. What an unsung hero he was for Manchester City. I thought he was brilliant. Gareth Barry. And you never hear his name, do you? You never hear it. In the years where we were growing and becoming like the force in Manchester. The force. Still, Gareth Barry. Game's underway. Second half's underway. Red Star. Red Diamonds. Playing a lot of red shapes this season. Diamonds. We've done with diamonds. Red Stars are the target now. And they're already in. John Stones has stepped in. Martinez switched on there and he's sloppy there. Martinez had an opportunity to get underneath it. City sleeping. And thankfully Martinez was sleeping too. Distan as well. I love Distan. They're in Red Diamonds. What are we doing, City? Kyle Walker's header back to Edison. Cool as you like. I missed that. A little glance at the chat and all of a sudden, Red Diamonds in on goal. Martinez's shot was blocked. Kyle Walker's header nods it back to Edison, keeps the ball. I met Gareth Barry in a strip club. Just had a chat with him. It was proper weird to see him in a strip club. Bit of a seedy guy, to be honest. I was in there with mates for a do, but he came in with like one guy and was like, I don't know, it was a bit odd. Must have been. I was like, Gazbaz! Because what everyone called him. Nunes bringing the ball forward. Brilliant. Lovely. Look at this from Nunes. Lays it off to Bernardo Silva. That's brilliant from Nunes, that was. That is transitional football at its best. Single-handedly transitioning Manchester City, turning defence into attack. Jack Grealish, left wing. Feinting. Goes onto his right foot. Rodri into John Stones. Good ball into Walker. Bernardo Silva. Nunes offering another underlap. Bernardo Silva, sloppy ball, but Nunes is offside. Well played, Mateus Nunes. Doesn't go for it because he knows he's offside. Intelligent play. That's very true, Jan, isn't it? Johnny, you appear to meet ex-footballers in unusual places. Well, Gareth Barry was currently playing for Manchester City when I met him in a strip club. And I just remember, it was actually my mate, a female friend of mine. Hang on a minute. Jack Grealish is over, ran it again. Goal kick to Red Diamonds. I was like a little girl who wanted to ask out a boy, but I didn't have the balls to do it. I didn't have the balls to go and speak to Jack Grealish, to Gareth Barry. And a friend I was with just went over and went, my mate over there he's a big City fan and he wants to speak to you. And I was like, God, this is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. God, like, oh, God. It's so awkward, man. And in a strip club as well. Really odd. Phil Foden, lovely, but Bernardo Silva's had to go back. He's having a think about it. Bernardo Silva's shot well wide of the mark. But yeah, then he just invited me over and I just had a chat with him and he was a nice guy. He was a bit one-wordy, but he was all right. Invited me over. I think he signed something for me, a little napkin or something. But yeah, I also met Freddie Ljungberg in a toilet as well. I've met Uwe Rosler in a toilet as well. My dad had a piss next to Uwe Rosler. He came back and told me. I've been waffling on, haven't I? Talking about some random events in my life. Like, I didn't even know I still remembered these things. These things are just being dug out of the back of my brain somewhere. Like, I didn't even remember that. It's mad how it comes up. Your memory does weird things, doesn't it? Foden. Jack Grealish needs to step it up, Jackie boy. Needs to see a little bit more positivity. To be fair, it's not a lack of positivity. It's actually a lack of quality because he is beating his player. He's beat his fullback 3 times now. Twice he's overran it for a goal kick. And the other time he's misplaced his pass. Nunes. You met Brian Robson in a toilet. That's the thing. These footballers, they all need to piss, don't they? They all need to piss. Martinez trying to bring the ball forward. Nunes takes it off him. Martinez is struggling, mate. He looks like someone who's about to retire. We are way too slow, says Jan. It's a bit sluggish, isn't it? It is a bit. So far, there's minimal threat going the other way, but I could have said that about Crystal Palace. You know, I said the same thing. There was like no way Crystal Palace are even getting a shot in this game, let alone a 2-2 draw. Jack Grealish, has he beaten his man? Barely. Gets it back to Rodri. Into Stones. Bounce pass. Out to Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva. John Stones going into the inside channel. Nunes joins instead. First time cross from Nunes is a poor one. Tries to dink it, but doesn't get enough whip on it. And just straight into the hands of Nicky Sakiwaki guy. Rico will run them ragged. Mate, I do think this is a game for Rico. Not a bad shout at all, Paul. He'll bring some energy onto the pitch. We've got some kids as well we can bring on. We've got Sissoko's on the pitch, Hamilton's, Aliane's on the pitch, on the bench, sorry. Who else we got on the bench? Two goalkeepers, Ortega, Carson. Rodri's pass. Poor one to Bernardo Silva, gone out for a goal kick. It is a bit sloppy, this performance. There's nothing about this performance that makes me think they've shaken off the cobwebs of the Premier League. They look like a wounded animal, Manchester City. Like frustrated. A little bit uncertain. A little bit tentative. With everything they've done, it's overly cautious. Against a team that, if Manchester City, fully 100% confident Manchester City would wipe the floor with this team, really, we should be doing. But it doesn't look like an uneven game. It looks like a City versus a Championship side, and I'm being lovely ball from Kyle Walker right into the feet of Kovacic. One-on-one, Mateo Kovacic has buried it. Kyle Walker with a sublime assist. Oh, how's about that? Who are we blaming for this one? Kyle Walker with an absolutely sublime defence-splitting assist. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. You anti-Kyle Walker toxic fans, get out, because that was absolutely brilliant from Kyle Walker. The Manchester City players surround him, take nothing away from the run from Kovacic, the touch from Kovacic, and the finish. Absolutely brilliant, cool as you like, love this. Kovacic, the finish was brilliant as well, one-on-one, kabang, have some of that back of the net. Oh, Kyle Walker assist. You better own it. And there's certain individuals out there that they need to own it. Kyle Walker assist, my friend. Oh, tell you what, that's a sweetener for me and a sickener for some, and it's a shame that it's like that. I hope we hear a lot of City fans now go, well done, Kyle Walker, because that's what it should be. 2-0, by the way. That's what it should be. Let's not get all, you support Kyle Walker, you hate Kyle Walker. Can't we just say Kyle Walker's been having a bad time? And well done for getting an assist, Kyle Walker. Do you think we're going to hear well done, Kyle Walker, from the people who've been nailing him to the wall? You know, do you think we will? Planting their flag, their anti-Kyle Walker flag firmly in the ground and saying, nope, he is not the player for us. He is not the captain material. And here he is getting an assist in a Club World Cup semi-final. Let's give him a pat on the back, shall we? Can we do that? Absolutely divine. Absolutely divine. I completely agree with you. Nobody's above criticism. That's my point. You're making my point for me. That's exactly right. Well done, Walker. But then again, he ain't above criticism. 100%. Nobody is. And that includes your fan favourites. Your Erling Haalands. Your Kevin De Bruyne's. Phil Foden. I'd consider those three probably most. If you asked a average City fan who your fan favourite player is, I imagine most people would pick one of those three. But still, yeah, they're not above criticism. Neither's Kyle Walker, 100%. Nunes there, look at that. Look at that power. Nunes is brought down there, though. That's a foul, isn't it? Don't do that, though, Nunes. It's just gesturing for the card. He looks a player, Nunes. He really does. I mean, we've seen it against the two red shapes of Red Diamonds and Red Star, where Nunes has just been just like a force to be reckoned with. Do you know what I mean? Let's see him do it against, top 6 teams in the Premier League. Grealish lays it off to Ake. Let's bury this lot now. Come on, let's get a nice, comfortable scoreline. 2-0. I said against Palace, 2-0. When's the last time we had 2-0? Oh, chilling, 2-0. And then, fucking hell, 2-2. So, I'm not going to say that again. Let's get a third. And even then, 3-0, which is not done and dusted. Still want to get that fourth. But let's get a third first, shall we? Foden. Rodri. I love that ball from Walker, by the way. Love it. Brilliant. That was like Beckenbauer, Douglas. Paul, you're right about Kovacic, mate. Yeah, I was a big fan of him. The first 6 games, I felt like he hit a little patch of his game, was a little bit ropey. I felt like injuries played a part, but his performance against Luton stood out to me. That was really good, Kovacic. And here we are now. We're starting to see more and more of Mateo Kovacic. Jack Grealish, big bursting run. Left dink. Gotta be. Oh, no. Nunes has missed an absolute sitter. Can we just all do the right thing? Why is it always someone who's got to cock it up at some point in every move? That was such a good move, man. Such a good move. Jack Grealish doing the right thing. He's beat his man. Not overhit it either. Brilliant from Jack Grealish. Getting to the byline. Dinks it back post. And Nunes, who's been having a fantastic game, misses a sitter, to be honest. A header that's just got to be... He gets up. Does he have to stretch his neck? Bit of a turtleneck. Trying to get his head out. Doesn't stretch it long enough. Heads it wide of the post. From about 3 or 4 yards out. Got to score there, really. Tuna agrees with me. Got to score there. Make it 3. Grealish moody today, Ella. Yeah, mate. I like Angry Jack. I think he plays better when he's angry. I feel like he's too chill. He seems like a chilled guy. I watched him watch that cooking thing with Oscar Bob, John Stones and Jack Grealish. Bit of a comedian, Jack Grealish. He makes me chuckle. He's one of those guys that's funny without meaning to be funny, but when he tries to be funny, it's not funny at all. But when he just speaks, it's funny. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them. Walker is positioned differently in this game. He is not a right winger who is there to cross, but more like right-sided CDM who orchestrates our play. Probably not CDM, but definitely a right-sided centre-back. Come forward a little bit there, showed a bit of bravery on the ball to burst into midfield, and slotted in Mateo Kovacic like a seasoned Kevin De Bruyne ball, that was. Letty, spot on, mate. Clean sheet now, innit? Clean sheet. I'm wondering if, like, the whole atmosphere, Kovacic turns beautifully, beats his man, lays it into Phil Foden. Was a bit of a slow ball there to Phil Foden. Kovacic underhits it. Foden couldn't make anything of it. Khaled with the super chat. Really appreciate that, Khaled. Khaled, you're a legend, mate. Hello, everyone, he says. Everyone welcome Khaled to the chat. Top man. Thembela. Hi from South Africa. Big up to Thembela in South Africa. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, I'm hoping this trip to Saudi Arabia is a turning point for the club, for the team, and like an atmosphere, what's the word, team building exercise, that type of atmosphere, like get the team together, create an atmosphere, a positive atmosphere, have fun, go and do some fun things, some warm weather training. I imagine they're going to do that in January. What a ball from Akanji that is into Nunes. Sprays it and splits them open. Nunes. Oh, Nunes. His effort's been saved. It's not finished though. Bernardo Silva finds the bottom corner. Makes it 3-0. What a lovely move from Manchester City. We are purring right now. Manchester City slicing open Red Diamonds. They are crumbling right now, in fairness to them. They've defended valiantly. They've done their bit. They've tried their little, bless their cotton socks. They're trying their best, Red Diamonds, with all due respect to them. But they have started to crumble. Huge gaps are starting to appear now. Akanji splits them open with Nunes, finding Nunes with a lovely ball. I'm talking about a 50, 60-yard ball that he drills with his laces, but it's a laced shot pass, cross pass type ball through the middle of Red Diamonds. And Nunes cuts onto his right foot, tries to whip it. Saved, lands to Bernardo Silva, doesn't mess about, brings it down, controls the ball, Bernardo Silva, left foot, edge of the area, and he smashes it into the bottom corner. 3-0. There we go. This is what we're talking about now. I agree, Mustafa, get the young guys on now. Yeah, let's have a little run out. I said at the start, this is potentially a good opportunity to get players who are lacking in confidence, some confidence. You know, come out here and play. Look, they're all moving better now. That's mad, isn't it? What the difference a goal can make. That old chestnut. It's so true. The difference a goal can make. And with City, when you've been taking 1-goal leads and not keeping them, the difference a goal can make starts to not make a difference, if that makes sense. You start going 1-0 up and you go, it doesn't matter because we concede. 2-0 up against Crystal Palace, doesn't matter. We concede. 3-0 up. Now that feels like we've done this now. We've won the game. Let's go and play some football. And immediately you can just see the body language, the tempo. It just looks better. Jack Grealish there's got his head down. He needs to pick his head up, mate. He looks a bit pissed off. I think who was it saying he's moody? You're absolutely right. He does look a bit moody. But still, lively football all of a sudden from... Well, I've slowed it down again, but why increase the risk of injury? But there's still some good indications of... Confidence is growing with performances like this, but you've got to get a clean sheet now. That's going to give Ederson and the defence some confidence, and the front men get confidence when they know behind them they've got a solid defence. They don't feel so pressured into taking every chance, because if they know behind them they're going to keep a clean sheet, then maybe 1-0's enough to win the game. You don't feel so pressured to take every one of your chances. It's a knock-on effect. If your defence is solid, that's great. Same goes the other way. If you're sat there as a centre-back and you're looking at your centre-forwards, the pressure's on if your centre-forwards are missing every chance, because it's like, well, they keep missing chances and the best we can hope for is keeping a clean sheet and maybe nicking a 1-0. It works both ways. And if both ends of the pitch, it only takes one end of the pitch for the whole team to seem disjointed. And it's been taking it in turns. There's been games where we've been... I mean, Red Star Belgrade at home, 30 shots. Sheffield United away, 30-plus shots at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United. We won the game 2-1. It took a last-minute bloody winner to scrape the game. We absolutely shredded them to bits. But no one will remember that. People will talk about the game being 2-1 and how Kyle Walker made a big error in that game. And Rodri, well, it was a Kyle Walker assist, in fairness, to win the game back. But still, let's get 10, says Tuna. Tuna, mate. Calm down. Maybe. Here's Phil Foden. Here's Phil Foden. Back heel to Jack Grealish. You love it. Jackie boy, what are you doing? Are you going to shoot, mate? Are you going to shoot? What are you doing, Jack? What on earth are you doing, Jack Grealish? And he's just had the ball taken off the tip of his toes. It was really good play from Jack Grealish and Phil Foden. Link-up play was brilliant. Jack Grealish feeds it inside to Phil Foden. Phil Foden, first time, back heels it in the penalty area to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish all of a sudden is basically stood on the penalty spot with the keeper and a defender in front of him. He's just got to hit it first time, get it up into that corner. Instead, he's pissing about with it. Tries to beat the keeper. Keeper gets a touch on it. And then he's looking. And then I can see in his eyes, he's looking for a pass. You're in the penalty area on the penalty spot with the keeper panicking. You've got to get a shot away in that situation, Jack. You have to get your shot away. Disappointing, that. Martinez has come off. Alvarez, Gvardiol and Bob all coming onto the pitch. Bernardo Silva off. Phil Foden off. And who else? Akanji. So it's Gvardiol slotting in for... I imagine Ake's now going to tuck inside and be the centre-back. Gvardiol's going to be the left centre-back with Kyle Walker still in right centre-back. Big embrace from Pep Guardiola and Phil Foden there. Pep looks very happy with Phil Foden's performance, and rightly so. He's played really well, Phil Foden. Really good. No Rico, though, Ella. No. Oscar Bob's gone on the right wing. Alvarez has gone straight up top. I think that pushes Nunes a bit deeper now into midfield, who's been a bit of an outball for us, Nunes. At times been the highest player up the pitch. And it's actually Gvardiol who's gone at centre-back. Ake's gone at left centre-back, which is interesting. I'm actually happy with that. I want to see Gvardiol at centre-back. We signed a centre-back who's been playing left-back. And although I think there's a massive future for Gvardiol, he's not exactly tearing up trees right now. He's not proving that he's the finished article yet. He's got a long way to go, Gvardiol, but I think he's got every chance of making it to the very top of the game, Josko Gvardiol. But I've never seen him play centre-back for City, as in actual right bang in the middle, that Ruben Diaz role. And it looks like he's got it today. The deepest player on the pitch, which is good. Let's see what he's got. Gvardiol is giving it away, Gvardiol. And then Kyle Walker's giving it away. Between the two of them, complete fuck-up. Josko Gvardiol starts it by giving the ball away. A deflected pass that lands to Linson. And then Kyle Walker tries to help by getting back and laying it to Edison, but he underhits his pass back to Edison, and City somehow scramble it away. But what the fuck, man? That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what's been happening all season. All season we've been seeing these individual errors. Josko Gvardiol coming onto the pitch with a calamitous pass. He telegraphed it. He took too long on the ball. The Red Diamond player, I can't remember, I don't know who it was, got a touch on it. Deflected. Luckily, it goes to Kyle Walker, who's got to sprint back and intercept the pass. Otherwise, it would have landed to Lyson, who was going to get his shot away. Kyle Walker then does the right thing to get it back to Edison, but he underhit it. Very lucky that Edison came out as quick as he did, because Kyle Walker's pass was sloppy as well. Fucking hell, that sums us up. That does. That's in the Premier League. They score. Edison collects the corner. Brilliant from Edison there. That's so frustrating. That's clearly that we've not learnt our lessons then in being too lackadaisical and overly composed and bordering on arrogant in the way we play out from the back. Like, make sure it's all good and well being cool and composed, but not to the point where you get closed down and lose the ball. That's not cool and composed. You've got to make sure. Got 230 in the building. If you could pop a like on the stream, please do. John Stones, Nunes, who's been brilliant, excluding that one header that he put well wide of the mark. Other than that, he's been Very impressive. I'm really starting to like Mateus Nunes, and he's giving me a real good feel-good factor for the second half of the season. Oscar Bob with a lovely bit of skill, and he's brought down immediately. That's got to be a yellow card, surely, referee. Love that from Oscar Bob. Good to see you, Roy and Marie and Maja, or Maya. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Jackie Boy, left wing, one-on-one. Back to Gvardiol, and his pass is a poor one. Gvardiol couldn't stop it from getting back, but Nathan Ake stops. Wins the ball, and then Jack Grealish is... I don't know what that was, a free kick given for something. I don't know what that free kick was for, but City have got the ball. Kyle Walker sprays a lovely ball out to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob brings it down with his chest, tries a looping pass over the head of his fullback into Nunes, but doesn't come off. Kyle Walker having to get back, and does a good job. I mean, we've got to be pleased with 3-0. I know it's not been like mind-blowingly good football from City, but it's been good enough to win the game. My issue is that one moment, that what just happened, Gvardiol and Walker, that infuriates me. That I can't stand that. This is what we're talking about. Just switching off, just little details like that make the whole aura, the whole feel around Manchester City feel different. Nunes, his cross is intercepted but not cleared entirely. Oscar Bob, he's going to shoot. Oscar Bob, oh, he's just past the post. Clearance was poor, right to the left foot of Oscar Bob, who whips it, going for that near post edge of the area, but quite a distance past the post, to be honest. Yeah, that mistake from Gvardiol and Walker combined. I mean, Walker doesn't make the mistake if Gvardiol doesn't make the mistake. But that's the sort of shite that has been happening all season in a game, up until about 3 minutes ago. So let's say the 65th minute. It's just been all City, nothing going wrong majorly, not any catastrophic errors. And hunky-dory. Pretty much how every Premier League game's gone in all the draws that we've had, except for Chelsea. Dominating against Liverpool, dominating against Spurs, dominating entirely against Crystal Palace. Villa, we were battered. That was just a complete disaster of performance, with pretty much our main players being absent from that game. Let's call that a one-off. But in all those games I've just mentioned, there's been big mistakes that you can analyse to the hills. You can get analytical and approach the game from as many analytical... Oh, sloppy from Ake now. But Jack Grealish prevents it going out for a throw-in. But you can analyse the game all you want. But when you come down to individual errors, sometimes the game is simple. You can make the game complicated. You can look into the nitty-gritty details. But football's a very simple game at times, and errors tend to get punished at any level of the game. And we've got to cut it out. We've got to cut it out. Johnny, you're close to 1 million views. Am I? Oh, in total? I thought you meant on the stream. I was like, fuck you now. Red Diamonds are that popular, are they? Got 1 million people watching this. Nunes. Down the line to Oscar Bob. He's in the penalty. Oh, lovely from Oscar Bob. Oh, that's so good from Oscar Bob. The way he turns his man. Love that. He controls it and turns all within one touch. Beautiful from Oscar Bob and Nunes. I'm starting to question whether Oscar Bob should be knocking on Pep Guardiola's door and asking for a Premier League start right now. He's knocking on the door firmly. That wasn't it. I made that sound. That's as firm as my tongue can make it sound. Alvarez onto his right foot. He's thought about shooting, but he's got to lay it here. Oh, he's bursting in. Oh, he's Alvarez. He's having a dig. And he scuffed it. Looked about dribbling past the post, but he didn't connect with that properly. But little burst of speed from Alvarez there was good. Saw a little pocket, went for it. Just couldn't execute the shot accurately. Big M in the chat. Good to see you, Big M. Hope you're doing well, mate. But yeah, Oscar Bob, mate. He's exciting. Really, really exciting. I think most people would say start him ahead of, if you wanted to start Oscar Bob, I think most would say start him ahead of Grealish, because he's not Bernardo Silva level. He's not going to usurp Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva, and I don't think he's going to usurp Jack Grealish this season, to be honest. I think some City fans might want that. I'd like to see it tried. I just think they're very, very different players. And he's certainly not going to take Doku's spot right now. But Kyle Walker's really injured here. He's just suddenly pulled up really quickly, limping aggressively as well. Looked hurt there instantly, holding his left foot. Don't know whether it's a stamp. Yeah, it's a stamp on his, not an intentional one, an accidental trod on Kyle Walker's little toe. I don't know, Cam 2099. I don't know about Hamilton, but I do think Oscar Bob is someone we should be excited about. I really believe that. I haven't seen enough of Hamilton's finish against Red Star was bloody brilliant. Really good finish. Nunes, who I get excited every time Nunes gets the ball right now because he's just doing it. And there you go. Lovely ball from Nunes out to Jack Grealish. Pings one perfectly right onto the boot of Jack Grealish. Brings it down really well, Jack. Slows it down. He's looking for options. Help him out. Goes back to Gvardiol. Walker. He's shaking off that little impact on his little toe. Nunes. Oscar Bob. Jackie boy down the left wing. He's increased his speed a little bit. Inside to Kovacic. Kovacic is going to shoot, and it's over the bar by some distance, to be fair. But good play from Jack Grealish, that coming inside way more aggressively than we've seen so far. I recognise him. That's a City fan. Seen him around at the Etihad. Recognise him. Don't know him. Just recognise his face. What's my prediction for the final? Ooh, I need to have a look at Fluminense a little bit more detail. I watched them the other night, and they were decent, aggressive, like very technical, very composed. Love bringing it out from the back. Will they do that against City? It'll be risky for them to do it. Felipe Melo, the ageing Felipe Melo at centre-back, and Marcelo as well, and Kovacic there, edge of the area. It's a foul there, ref, is it not? Kovacic was lovely from Gvardiol, intercepts it though. Kovacic was fouled then, surely. Gvardiol's in! He's got it! Gvardiol. Jack Grealish has got it though. How's Gvardiol not had a shot there? Beyond me. Tried to do the unselfish thing and couldn't hit back to Alvarez, but you're on your left foot, mate. Well within your rights to have a shot there, Josko. You've got to be banging that and having a shot. Kovacic. Ake. Fucking hell. I thought that was going to be Josko's first Manchester City goal. Should have been. Didn't even have a shot. I'm surprised that. Tried to be generous. A little bit too unselfish. Lovely ball from Rodri into Oscar Bob. He's tucked it back to Alvarez. Oh, it's saved. City are purring here. We are turning the screw once again. This is going to be 4 or 5-0 before we know it. I'm convinced. Offside Nunes, unfortunate there. Unlucky that. Really good football. Rodri dinks a little ball. Oscar Bob round the outside of the Red Diamonds defence. Inside but round the outside. Lovely little dink over the back of their back five from Rodri. Nunes stops it from going out for a goal kick and cuts it back to Alvarez, who's coming onto it. Side foot, saved. Calvin Phillips coming onto the pitch. Sergio Gomez as well. Rodri's off for Calvin. Sergio Gomez on for John Stones. Looks hot out there. All the City players in their white shirts have turned grey from sweat. No Rico Lewis, Ella. Completely. Yeah, I want to see Rico. He has played a lot, though. He's played the last 2 games, didn't he? Red Star, full 90 minutes. And he played pretty much the full game against Palace. I wouldn't be surprised if that, therefore, means we're going to see Rico Lewis in the final, which is this Friday. 6 o'clock UK time. I will be doing a watch along, so come and join me for that. Appreciate that, Ned Nat. Really appreciate that. Some people have told me I'd never expected to be. I don't know why. Yeah. To be honest, I just went, are you lying to us, Johnny? Pep doesn't make subs. Yeah, he has, mate. He's made an absolute barrage of subs, Danny. But Ned Nat, I really appreciate that, Ned Nat. Thank you very much. But yeah, I try and juggle between talking to you and then commentating about the game as well. So making it a little bit more personal than just commentating. I don't want to just commentate on the game. I want to get to know you. I want you to get to know me. I want to talk generally. I also want to just have a chat with you. That's it. Talk about City. You know what I mean? I could talk about City all day. But also commentate. Oh, a little butterfly. Look at that. Not in my room, just on the pitch. There was a little butterfly. None of the players spotted it. A little butterfly floated on someone's shoulder then. That's mad. Appreciate that, Mustafa. Calvin Phillips. Want to see some assured football from him. 1-2 with Kyle Walker. I think we all can agree Calvin is on his way out of the club. Lovely layoff from Nunes. Well played from Calvin Phillips, finding Nunes to begin with, but that touch from Nunes, really composed, under pressure. Kyle Walker dribbling there, brilliant. Coming inside with it. Finds Jack Grealish on the left. Jack Grealish cuts it inside to Kovacic. Lovely ball, Jack. Kovacic, oh, he took too long on it. Kovacic has been okay this game. He's certainly not been bad. Little couple of moments that he could have done in the final product of his game. But his general midfield play has been really, really good. I think Nunes, though, has been outstanding in this game. Oh, fuck off, man. No way. Edison with a big booming tackle. What about that? Just as I was saying, Nunes is having a fantastic game. The ball just smashes off his chest, bounces back towards the edge of their area. They go through on goal. Edison out like a tiger, like a ninja, like a cat. Comes flying out. Big boot. Tackle. It's like a general centre-back tackle, that. Didn't go with his hands. He went with his foot, which is good. Won the ball cleanly. Needed a City win before Christmas, says Jeff. Absolutely. Oscar Bob getting back and together with Kyle Walker. Tackle. And comes away with the ball. Absolutely, Jeff. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to see City win away. Hey, jingle bells. Love it, mate. Gvardiol there was caught. I mean, the ball was ricocheted off Nunes. It landed towards Gvardiol, who obviously wasn't expecting it. He needs to switch on Gvardiol. He's come onto this pitch and he's been a bit suspect. Walker with a bad ball there into Nunes. He's caught sleeping. Sergio Gomez gets back though. Gvardiol steps in, doesn't win it. Sergio Gomez tries his turn. He's keeping them out. Red Diamonds are posing a bit of a threat here all of a sudden. These players that have come onto the pitch have lowered the tempo of Manchester City. And Red Diamonds are knocking it about a little bit. Dinked in back post. Sergio Gomez. Well done, Sergio. Kovacic trying to win the ball. Doesn't. It's coming back. I think it's Schultz on the ball. I think that's a Kubo, I think. Oh no, Akimoto, sorry. Cross is blocked by Kovacic. Throw in. Sui, where they are showing the game on TNT Sports in the UK, or you can go to FIFA's website and check it out there. There's 9 minutes remaining, mate. If you haven't signed up already, it might take you that amount of time to sign up, depending on how quick you can find the website and sign up. But give it a go, mate. The game's free on FIFA's website. Long ball over the top here has been found as well. Nunes tracking back. Uwara. Nunes has committed a foul. It's going to get booked as well. The game's stretched all of a sudden. These substitutes have not done us any favours for this patch of play. Done us favours long term, squad depth, minutes, fitness, fatigue. That's been good. We needed to make these substitutions, but you can tell straight away the tempo has just really declined with this. Pretty much a half a team has come onto the pitch. Who's come on? We've seen Gvardiol, Alvarez, Calvin Phillips, Oscar Bob, Sergio Gomez. So 5 players coming on. Ball's coming in from Red Diamond. Big header from Nathan Ake. Love that. Jack Grealish saw that ball. He read it, intercepted, and he comes forward with it. Tucks into his right foot. He's going to ask for a free kick. He gets it. Went down a bit theatrically there. I'd like to see how much he was caught, but looked a foul to me. Yeah, he's whacked him on his shins, and that's why you wear shin pads, Jack. I mean, God knows what he wears there. There's no way there's a shin pad in there. Like infant-sized shin pad. Absolutely, Scott. Fluminense will definitely not be an easy game. It's going to be really exciting game for the neutral, not for us, because I think we're going to be tested. Kovacic has been fed down the wing by Jack Grealish. Good ball, good link-up play between the two of them there. Back to Grealish. Jack tries a difficult through ball and it was intercepted by the first man. Sergio Gomez. Hey, Marie, appreciate that. Thanks for becoming a member, typical City member. And as you've done that, Alvarez is in. The ball. Nicky Sakawaki guy has come out. It's not even got his name. It's a different. Have they changed their goalkeeper? He's got a different name on the back of his shirt than he does in the starting 11. But anyway, good link-up play from Alvarez. And I think it was Kovacic who feeds Alvarez. Gets through on goal. Tries to beat the keeper, but he gets a big hand on it, and the hand actually goes back onto Alvarez's shin and out for a goal kick. Marie, thanks for becoming a typical City supporter. Really appreciate that, Marie. Thank you. You've got some emojis if you want to use them. No, 100% Divine. Fluminense won't come and defend like this. They are actually an exciting attacking team with fast forward players. I don't know a Brazilian team that would any Brazilian team in the world that would come and defend. I don't think it's in Brazilians' nature. They just attack, don't they? And I love that. That's why people love watching Brazil. And their league is so exciting. I genuinely enjoy everything to do with Brazil and football. I think it's brilliant. Such a good approach to football. But make no mistake, it's not like they didn't know how to defend either. You know, the Brazil of the 90s. Do you know what I mean? Lucio, Roberto Carlos. Like some immense defenders. Calvin Phillips getting caught on the ball, but he keeps it reasonably well and dinks it back to Edison. He's got to control it. Oh, Edison, first time volley. I mean, he didn't mean that. There's no way that he meant to skew that to Gvardiol, but he just, first time volley, skews it basically, and it goes right to Gvardiol. Really difficult ball for him to deal with, but he deals with it, Edison, in fairness to him. Oscar Bob whips it into Gvardiol's chest. Kovacic, the two Croatians linking up there, and Kovacic is frustrated. He's got to give a big pat on the back there to Josko Gvardiol for the awareness there to... The cross comes in from Oscar. Well, there's Big Steve. Just saw Big Steve on TV. he was Alvarez bringing it forward. Did anyone just see Big Steve's face there? He was just like big red face there, just loving life. Love it, Big Steve. Fair play to the man. Jack Grealish. I reckon every... Oh, Calvin Phillips having a dig! Oh, it's gone well wide. The keeper's diving for everything, man. Even shots that are like going about 8 yards wide, he dives for it and makes it look closer than it actually was. It's a treble winners medal, Danny. I got this. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? Treble winners. Manchester City sent me this. And anyone who was a season ticket holder last season got sent one of these. And you had to actually apply for it as well, which was a bit odd. But I've seen them, apparently they're going for like 100 quid on eBay now. That's sad, man. It's a shame that... So if you want one, mate, you might try your luck on eBay. There might be one on eBay, but there's no fucking way I'm selling mine. Not a chance. It's proper... I don't know. I'm not a jeweler or any sort of material expert, but there's no way that's 24 karat gold. But it's metal. It feels heavy. It's good around the old neck, and it's just a reminder to everybody. That we're the fucking treble winners, mate. And I'm tempted to wear it for every watch along, which makes me look like a bit of a pleb. But yeah, it's a chocolate one. I'm looking for that little tinfoil bit. How satisfying is it opening a chocolate coin on Christmas? You know, when you just find the right seam, the seam that you just peel it away, and then once it like crisp opens, and then it's like, oh yeah, there's the chocolate. There's the chocolate coin. Who doesn't love a chocolate coin at Christmas? Jack Grealish with a little step over. Imagine if this was chocolate. You got me paranoid now. This just starts melting during a watch along, just dribbling chocolate down my chest. Alvarez. Kovacic into Jack Grealish. He's frustrated today, Jack. He's not had a great game. He's been okay. Not great. Needs to do better. Alvarez. He's in the box. Alvarez has found a pocket of space then. Oh, Schultz steps across. Good bit of defending there. Yeah, I'll get it back in the fridge, mate, after this. It's nothing better than fridge chocolate. Cold chocolate. Short, well, corner was taken. Sergio Gomez having a dig over the bar. Do I look like a rapper? Straight up gangster, mate. Just need a big dollar, a big dollar sign, don't I? Or a pound sign, seeing as I'm from the UK. Three minutes of added time. Would like to see a fourth go in, must admit. Can't say we've not been close to getting a fourth either. Jack Grealish has got to be offside there, hasn't he? Surely. No, we play on. He's allowed all the players to get back though, so can't see much happening from this unless Nunes does something tricky here, and he's trying. Cuts it back to a little back heel was pretty obvious and well read by Red Diamonds there. I think who agrees with me that Nunes has been man of the match so far? Thought Phil Foden was really good. In particular in the first half. But I think over the course of the game, it's Nunes. Calvin Phillips with a long ball there, trying to find Jack. It's intercepted though, but... Free kick. Jack's won a free kick there. Gvardiol. It's intercepted. Gvardiol, mate. Switch it on. And here come Red Diamonds the other way. Down the right wing, counter-attack, 2-on-2. City get back in numbers, done well. Let's get numbers back, and Ake gets the block, and it's going to be a corner. Come on, Josko. I want to see more from him. There's no way City fans are going to blame Josko for anything, is there? Because we've just signed him. And I'm not going to join in. I would never blame a player that we've just signed. But at the minute, he needs to up his game. Because he's come on, and he's... Two genuine errors, that being one. He's just dribbling with the ball slowly, and a player catches him up and just gets in front of him and takes it away and starts sprinting towards our goal. That's not good enough. Coming out in the first couple of minutes, his pass went astray, and the other, not really an error, just a wrong decision was that shot. Corner comes in, Ake with the clearance, big header from Nathan Ake. The one where he should have shot. He tried to cut it back to Alvarez. He just should have hit the target, just have a shot there. Wouldn't call that an error, though. I'd call that a defender with a nosebleed in the area, not knowing what to do because he's a defender. Like, well, fucking hell, what am I doing here? But we got 3 in, and he got comfortable. Yeah. When's the final? Friday, G. This Friday, same time, 6 o'clock kickoff. I will be doing a watch-along. Issa can't believe how off it Gvardiola's looked recently. He's clearly far better than what he's shown today. I 100% agree, Issa, and I'm really hoping. There goes the full-time whistle. Brilliant, brilliant. 3-0 win. That's all we really wanted was the win at the end of the day, and the win we have got. Let's have a look. Some City fans there trying to see if Big Steve's still going wild. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of positives to take out of this performance. The big one is Matheus Nunes, and I think we have now got a player that we can genuinely be excited about for the second half of the season. Keep him fit. How often can this man play in this starting 11? Could he be the answer to some of our issues in terms of creativity, in terms of control, in terms of high pressing ability? I'm not sure he's the answer to all of those problems, but he's certainly answered to some of them. From the performances I've seen of Matheus Nunes recently, I am excited. Genuinely excited about that. Kovacic isn't far behind in my estimation of Nunes. I think Kovacic is showing signs again of why we bought him, what he's all about, what he brings to the team. Little glimpses of quality from Kovacic. He's got a harder task than Nunes because Nunes is playing more advanced up the pitch. He's given more license to run with it. He's given more license to attack. Kovacic has got to be the anchor to this team. So therefore, he's not going to be getting headlines. He's not going to be getting to the byline and crossing as often as Nunes is, who Nunes did this game, gets himself an assist, albeit it was an own goal. But it was really good play from Nunes in the first place. But I think Kovacic and Nunes combined, there is a potential for something for City fans to get excited about there. And I personally am feeling quite excited about it. I thought Kyle Walker was really good. He's received a lot of criticism. Be interesting to see today if he gets criticised for anything. I'm just witnessing there. There's 2 mistakes from Kyle Walker, in fact. Now, one that I was looking at the chat, seeing the highlights there. Kyle Walker got caught on the ball there, as well as his pass back to Edison. But do not take away that pass that I'm witnessing right now into the path of Kovacic, who finishes it beautifully, Mateo Kovacic. And I mean, I was talking about not getting headlines. He's grabbed one there, hasn't he? Kovacic, he's grabbed one there, burying that beautifully. Lovely goal, that. That's the moment of the night, that, for me. Kyle Walker bringing it forward. And, yeah, Bernardo Silva was the third goal, wasn't he? And he took that away really nicely. Really nicely. So, good day. It's a good day. Thank you very much for joining me in the watch-along. I'm going to do a quick match reaction after this. Come and join me for that. Really excited for this final now, going against Fluminense this Friday. Come and join me, watch-along. 6 o'clock kickoff, brilliant. Buzzing. Thanks very much for joining me in the chat, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Come and join me for the match reaction if you've got time, and you can do. It'd be good to see you. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.